Good people. Okay, so look, first of all, y'all might want to ask, why am I always in my car when I'm talking about stuff, right? Like I'm always riding around. For one, because as women, we're always doing a whole hell of a lot, right? And I'm always doing a whole hell of a lot. So I'm always in the car, and this is when I find time to talk about stuff, right? So listen, and y'all get a chance to ride with me. I'm not riding by myself. So anyway, nobody wants to ride alone, right? That can go a lot of ways. So feel me, right? So today, it's a little dark of a topic, so I added a little sunshine filter. But it's a little dark topic, and about Traci Braxton, our good sis Traci Braxton. Why they take the good ones so young, man? I'm not even playing. Like, sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying, but I'm not playing. Like, for real. Like, Traci Braxton was one of the good ones. Just her soul. She had so much, humility. And I think that appealed to a lot of the audience because she was definitely a fan favorite, almost like in a cult sort of way. Like, there are sects of people that love Traci Braxton to this day. Like, don't nobody talk about no Traci Braxton. I ain't even playing. So, her husband was on Sherelle's World. Shout out to Sherelle's World. He was on Sherelle's World. And then I caught Jamie That's Me also showing a video. And I didn't catch the name of the guy that he was interviewing with. But it's on Jamie That's Me's channel, so go check it out. But he also did an interview with someone else, and she has that video. So the husband, Kevin Surratt Sr., is speaking out about mostly the funeral and the viewing and the family and his relationship with the family. And some about his relationship with Traci is tied into that as well. Well, I mean, it's never good when you're talking about death, because death is such a hard topic. Grief is never easy to deal with. There's so many phases of grief. So I do feel like the Braxtons are going through the different phases of grief. Now, don't ask me to list all of them right now because I can't remember them. It's not my job to right now. But we can go back over that at a later date. I'd love to talk about that, honestly. Like, that's important to know because there's death all amongst us, and you have to know those different phases, because if you don't know, how can you do better if you're not aware, so it's important to learn about that. So I'm gonna do another video on the phases of grief. Well, anyway, the Braxtons, and Kevin, they don't get along. Everybody know that Braxtons and Kevin are not getting along. Tawanda was like, she will never let that man on that platform. She does not intend on giving Kevin Sr. a space on the Braxtons anytime soon. So we know, but Kevin Sr. said he had a contract to be on there. He was supposed to do that scene because there is a scene on an episode in which he's supposed to come. And that's how we learn that Tawanda is adamant that man ain't showing up. And to that, I'm like, why? Like, let the man talk. What is it that you're afraid of? What don't you want him to say? What don't you want us to hear him say? Because it's not that deep. It shouldn't be that deep. I mean, obviously it's that deep to her. I mean, obviously, and I want to respect Tawanda's feelings. Don't get me wrong. I just want to understand everybody's feelings in this space. You know, and why, you know, you're so adamant. I mean, their position is Traci didn't want a funeral. Okay, fine. Traci didn't want a funeral. His position is, in the will, it states Traci wanted one viewing. And he said he did that. That's what he gave, was one viewing. Now, he didn't really, I don't remember, and maybe I zoned out because I was at work listening, but he didn't really go in depth about the memorial service that they had. Now, I watched the beginning of it. It was streamed, and they had a problem with that apparently. I remember it was streamed. But get this. So he did the one viewing for it that she wanted. Ain't nobody show up to that. What? I don't know. Okay, so to be fair, I don't know if they're thinking, if their mindset is Traci told me. I don't know what Traci told them. I don't know if they're thinking, you know, if it's Traci told me she didn't want a funeral. And I think for real, it's a matter of semantics, it sounds like. You know, like a funeral, a viewing, a memorial service. I gave a viewing, not a funeral. Traci wanted one viewing. She didn't say anything about a memorial service. It's kind of Kevin's approach, which I don't know if I'm rocking with that one, Kevin. I don't know about that one. If the woman said she only wanted one viewing, I don't know, you know, unless she said, I only want there to be one viewing, and what y'all do after that is y'all business. Then if she said I only want one viewing, then perhaps that was all she wanted, period. But get this, y'all didn't even come to that. Why wouldn't you go? I mean, at least to represent your family or your sister, you know, bump anybody else. I don't know. I remember this story coming out, and I remember my feelings about it. And I do remember feeling like I wouldn't personally care nobody could stop me from going to honor my sister. Nobody, buddy. And I've been in situations like this. I've seen it with other family members, and I know how I felt. And nobody would be able to stop me from representing my family and honoring my loved one. We all make choices, and it's up to you to decide, you know, what you want to do. So they decided they ain't one coming, and that was their choice to make, you know, at the end of the day. I just wouldn't have done it. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have. And I know for a fact I wouldn't have. I know for a fact. I know for a fact. I was just mad at my own brother before his father's, who was my stepfather's, funeral. I mean, we was beefing. It is what it is. That's my brother, you know. But you think I wouldn't show up? You really think I wouldn't show up for that funeral? Only God could keep me from it. Better get up out of here, you know. So his choice was to have a memorial service. Now, someone in the chat asked, was it true that he was charging for entry to the memorial service? I don't know. I never got an answer to that. Perhaps he seems to be doing a little tour. So perhaps he'll have that answer in another interview, because I'm sure this isn't the last we'll see of Kevin. I'm not mad at Kevin. I'm not mad at... Get your coins, boo. Because I know it's, times are hard for everybody. Like, listen, the Braxtons get theirs from their show. The Braxton family, Braxtons, they get it from the Braxton Family Values, which is in reruns and on apps and what have you. And they get it from the new show, The Braxton. It's not like they're not exploiting Traci also. So he's not doing anything different than they're doing. Now, I'm not saying that Traci didn't want her story told, but at the end of the day, it is exploitation. It's TV. It's sensationalism. When you make a choice to do reality TV, that's the choice you're making. So, but I mean, hey, get your coins. Why not? Get your coins. If you can, more power to you, I mean, everything ain't for everybody. Everything ain't for everybody. That's why everybody ain't on TV. They could go back to, what was it? He said they could go back to, there was something, I think it was Marriage Boot Camp. And he said that they both talked about the fact, sat on the couch together, and Traci was holding his hand, and they both said that they had experienced infidelity on both sides. So, yeah. And then he also talked about, like the baby, how they tried to say there was a baby out there, that was his. So he, had talked about how he has an older daughter from a previous relationship, and he has a grandson from that daughter named Zaire. And he was at Starbucks one day with the grandson, and there was a girl there that snapped a video of him and his grandson, saw him there, snapped the video of him and his grandson, put it on Twitter, and that started the whole, he has a baby out there with somebody else. And that's how that, and see how rumors get started? That's how easy it is for rumors to get started. That's why people should check their sources, and you can't assume ever, especially in this blogging industry, when like I'm new to this, and I'm trying to stay true to this, so you can't just go out here doxing people, for one. For two, just saying any old thing, making up lies. Like that old Wendy lie about how, when they said Wendy's husband had a baby by somebody, well, all about the team made that lie up. About Wendy Osefo on Housewives of Potomac. You can't do stuff like that. Anyway, I'm going to stay on course. So anyway, that's how that came about. So he declined to talk about her parents, out of respect for them, which I thought that was respectable. But he did say that, there was really little to no support from the rest of the family for Traci in her milestones in life. He talked about one time, though, that she sang at Blues Alley, and her brother Michael did come and support her, and they sang a beautiful duet. And I wonder if we could find that video anywhere. I'm going to look for that. But that they really weren't supportive of her. And I think we saw that on the show. That was clear. I mean, they labeled her the wannabe. And we've heard them, talk about why. They talked about on the episodes how she ended up being labeled the wannabe, and they pretty much said that it was unintentional and that it wasn't their fault. Okay, but y'all left it like that. But, you know, Kevin was really unsure why they disliked him. He said, you know, again, even if it was the infidelity, both he and Traci shared the infidelity. And I mean, I know how that can be, you know, when the family gets involved in things that they just shouldn't get involved in. I understand that completely. You know, sometimes siblings seem to be overbearing, can be overbearing and meddle, and or sometimes just plain jealous of your relationship. It happens. I've seen it. But again, you know, I try to be cognizant of things like that myself, because I have 4 brothers. I have 4 brothers, 3 sister-in-laws. And my youngest brother, you know, he's very close. He's in a relationship and he's very close. I'm close to the young lady that he's in a relationship with. And I try to be respectful of everybody as long as you don't do anything crazy. Don't try to hurt my brother. Don't do anything crazy. And don't hurt me. Because I've gotten caught in the crossfires a few times. Now, that's a good topic. One day we're going to talk about why sometimes these girls just don't like me. Some of these girls, my brother's girlfriends, some of them just don't be liking me, and I ain't do nothing to them off the bat. Anyway, that's a topic of another day, though. So anyway, back to Traci and her husband. In the other interview with the man that's on Jamie That's Me channel, he did talk about Tony's son Diesel's autism and how Kevin and Traci willingly poured into him because of their experience that they had with their former job where they actually met years ago. They met working at a facility here in Maryland. So, you know, he talked about Traci's relationship with Diesel, and how instrumental she was with him. Now, I remember reading that Diesel don't have autism no more. That's what Tony said. That Tony said, and I read this as a direct quote, but I'm going to say allegedly, that Diesel does not have autism anymore. Now, I never heard of that. I never heard that you could outgrow autism or you could cure it. I didn't know there was a cure for autism yet. But she said, I think she cured it with like proper diet. Maybe Dr. Sadie or something. I don't know. But yeah, look it up yourself if you don't believe me. But she said that Diesel no longer has autism. I don't know. I know he's in school. He does go to college, but I know, you know, there's levels of autism. I know another one of my friends, Michael, who went to college also. And he's clearly autistic. And he went to college, graduated from college, works a regular job. You know, I mean, you know, yeah, works a 9 to 5 and works with people every day. But, so they were good interviews. Go check them out. Sherelle's World, you know, very interesting topics. I think Kevin presented himself very well. He made very good arguments. So, great interview. Shout out to Sherelle's World. Shout out to Jamie, that's me. Go check them out. Do me a favor, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. It's real easy. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not. All you gotta do is just boop, hit the button. Push the button. It's not gonna hurt you. I promise. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a blessed and prosperous day, good people.